This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Pierre Novelli. You can text the show on 81215 if you'd like. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, or email the show via frank@absoluteradio.co.uk.
Morning, boys.
Morning.
Morning.
I didn't like that. It was a bit me going out to meet the awaiting tabloid scrum after the press scandal. Morning, boys.
Yeah, it was really after. Yeah,
Apologies.
exactly. But still looking great at about 7 a.m.
Showing him what he's missing.
Oh, God, of course.
That's what they always do.
Oh, man, showing him what he's missing. One of my worst ever headlines in newspapers. Have you seen those, Pierre?
No.
So it'd be a woman. If a couple have just split up, a celebrity couple, you'll get a bit like Cheryl shows Ashley Cole what he's missing. So it's her in a sort of bikini top and jeans, and you think, so that's what he's missing. Not her personality or any close, intimate relationship and shared experiences.
No.
Just her abdomen.
Her abdomen in these specific clothes.
And that sort of metastasised into the revenge bod concept.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I haven't read the phrase, but I like the revenge bod.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah, but I don't like the I thought of how much work it would take. I don't think I've ever loved anyone enough to build a revenge bod.
to crunch your way to vengeance.
No.
Have you got to revenge anything else? A revenge property empire is nice.
Yeah, that's all right, but I don't want revenge from these people who are part of my emotional life.
That's a lovely way to look at it,
I
Frank.
just want regret. I just want just a slight sense that life will never quite be the same again.
Do you just want the slight...
And maybe the nagging thought that I had their golden years.
Wow. Wow.
But revenge bod, no.
I tell you, I think you want just the slight strains of the bullseye, look what you could have won.
Yes.
Minor key.
Well, I always thought that when Harry married Meghan, he invited 3 exes, and that was a fabulous... Let's see what you would have won. It's exactly that.
Oh, well, it's a tougher situation as well as one of the exes, isn't it? Because it's a royal command.
Well, I remember I had...
I don't want to miss out.
My 50th birthday party, I had like 7 exes in the room, and with their partners. And a throwaway line.
7?
Yes. And I like a biblical number.
7 exes for 7 brothers.
Exactly.
Like the old Western.
Well, they didn't bring the... If they'd all been going out with brothers, I would have thought something odd was going on. But I did refer to them as women who I still cared about and respected, but the men they'd brought with them as parasites on the evening. But it was a throwaway remark.
Oh, no.
But then one of them banned me from ever seeing the woman again. She couldn't ever.
Okay, this is...
I don't know why I'm telling you this. Anyway.
I don't either.
Sorry, this is my therapy class, isn't it?
One of them banned them from
It's a good
seeing me again.
example
What
of
are you doing?
the sort of humour that comedians can take for granted a bit, being sort of the Ark of the Covenant being opened in the face of the general public as well.
Yeah,
It's
but
kind of
obviously
harshness.
I was happy for them to be there. As ever, it was nice for them to have someone to talk to.
Okay, you know that bit where you said, just leave it, Frank.
I will.
Leave it at one of them banned me from ever seeing you again.
No,
Can I just give you a heads up?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of correspondence in, and they all want to know about one thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Is it my poetry podcast? Okay, I'll take that as a no.
We'll come back to that. Can I get back to you on that?
Yes. Well, I'll talk about my week after this.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So look, I went to Buckingham Palace on Thursday for my investiture. And it was all right. So what should we talk about now? No, so it was the Princess Royal was presenting.
And?
Yeah, and the Princess Royal, as opposed to... Did they put royal on the end so they know we're not just calling her a bit of a princess? I mean, there's a king royal, if you think about it.
There's certainly a king royal.
Yeah.
There are dukes and there are royal dukes, and those are different.
I know, but a princess...
Surely.
You don't need to bring up the royal. It's a given.
Now,
Anyway.
I don't want to go on a limb here, but did she perchance have her hair back from her face because she favours that style?
Yes.
I love that style.
Yes, she did have that.
Love her.
Well, let me tell you, you get briefed.
Yeah.
You're in a room with people who have got it for all sorts of services too. Services too is the phrase of the day.
Yes.
Like someone had got a medal for services to swans and other water birds.
Really?
I wasn't even familiar with the term water bird. I didn't know that was... I mainly focus on the air birds, the main category.
Oh, I'm looking at a picture now. Is that Kath?
You've always been a glory hound for...
Kath was there.
Was she in the room with the black
Oh,
hat?
God, yeah, she was in the room. She wore a fascinator.
I'm having a look now.
Yeah.
I'm your manager, I
Well,
think.
you might want to pay attention to the
sorry,
show.
Sorry. Someone's just sent this picture. They're very
Yes, I
excited.
don't come with visual aids. What do you think I am? The supply teacher?
It's a tweet.
I didn't bring me OHP.
It's a tweet from our boss, Paul Sylvester.
Anyway, so you get your briefing. There's a man in a uniform who is referred to as the controller. Okay.
That's nice.
And like Thomas the Tank Engine, but slimmer. And he stands in a room and he says, right, now, when you go in, because this is in a separate... When you go into that room, the Princess Royal will be standing on a mat very similar to this one. And then he gestures towards a red mat with a rectangular red mat with a golden edge all the way around it. And he said, she does not step off that mat and you must not step on it. And I thought, all right. Sounds a bit edgy about... and he said, can you approach her? He said, you'll be stopped by... And then it was like the Viscount, Cardinal,
Yeah.
Archbishop, Minister of the Interior will be standing there in his uniform. He'll stop you. And then when you're free, you go... He said, you approach the Princess Royal. And he said, approach her in a slow and natural walk. In other words, there are armed men in that room.
Can I recommend against sprinting wildly
Yes, I think
towards her sacred mat?
he looked at me and he thought, he's a bolter. That guy's a bolter. But I might have
Hands up, full Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Can you imagine with the frock coat, the tails flapping
Full
behind you?
spear tackle.
I'm so excited. I just race away. I've been shot.
Your
So,
Majesty, I brought you my favourite knife from home for you to...
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we autographed my lump hammer. And he says,
So
when
what was it again? Slow and...
it's in a slow and natural manner.
I'd say
Do you know
there's-
what I love? I love natural.
Yeah.
I'd say those
So
are
don't walk up, don't do jazz hands.
Yeah. Don't walk slowly.
Hey,
Come on
Princess
down.
Royal, Princess Royal. No, don't do that.
Frank, I'd like it if you did a
Don't
Bob
put Roddy-
Fosse Chicago walk.
What if it said, don't put Royal in inverted air commas? She hates that.
We will shoot off your fingers if you do that.
Oh, man. So, and he said, he said the mat will be like this one, so we'd recognise the mat. I just thought, it'll be the mat with her on it.
Yeah. We have scattered several decoy mats for security reasons.
So it was like I tell you what, it's like a manager's technical area. She has to stay in the mat and we don't stray into it.
Hope she doesn't come out like Arteta all the time.
No, but who knew there was a exclusive royal mat?
Is the mat like a sort of bath mat size?
It's about so long and about
I
so
can't
wide.
see
It's
that.
a rectangle. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot it was on radio. It's a rectangle. I'd say 3 foot by 4 foot, maybe.
What would have happened if you'd have crossed the mat, do you think?
Oh, it doesn't I think. Well, to be fair, she stands right at the edge of the mat with her toe virtually on the goal. I mean, I looked over my shoulder for a dartboard. There's an element of hockey about the golden braid.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So you've looked up.
I've looked up.
You're on
no,
the
you
mat.
have to. Looking down is the key. That's the other thing you're told. Is that before you approached in a natural, slow, non-controversial manner, you walk towards the royal mat, and then you stop in front of the mat about a metre. And then you bow, but he says bow from the neck, not from the waist.
Oh.
He said, and I thought, I think the danger is a man my age could bow from the waist, topple, and I'd be mown down before I reaches gravity would finish me off.
Yes,
but yeah.
And you'd hit the mat with your head.
Oh God! What? He touched the mat?
Yeah.
Get out of here!
Even as a body.
Oh no!
Never
acceptable.
touch the mat.
I'm imagining it's some sort of hovering, like Baby Yoda in The Mandalorian.
When you all leave the room.
Well, how does she get in the room if she can't leave the mat? Is she dragged in on the mat?
Like a magic carpet.
Does she mat surf? So she's like this, a bit slower, bit more at the left, and they sort of pull her in.
Well, they have to pick up all the sort of stepping stone mats that got her to that mat.
Oh, yeah.
And they go quickly lift them up or she'll just go back.
I bet they just bought one of those carpet squares books.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I finally... Because you're passing as well. You know, when you go... I don't know if you've
What was
ever
it
been...
like inside, Frank?
2 gold.
I've never heard of anything too good. Really?
No, it was 2 gold. It's the goldest place I've ever been in my life, Buckingham Palace.
Is it?
Everything.
Is it oligarch gold?
The ceilings, the walls. I mean, it's dripping with gold.
Is it quite dictator chic?
It's quite nouveau riche, considering it's absolutely as old riche as you. The guy asked a guy about it. He said, well, we haven't, the last furniture. He said that the newest furniture in here is 1830.
Oh, my God.
So,
I asked a guy. I mean,
well, I got to say, one thing I should say, and of course, Office is partly a comedy experience, but they could not have been nice to the actual people who work there. And my son Buzz had a bit of a bellyache, as we call it in the West Midlands, and there was medics, and we got him kelp. I mean, it was that element of it was brilliant, but 2 gold for all that.
what a review.
Yeah, my review of the palace.
Are there a lot of corridors, Frank?
Well, we went in a few different rooms, certainly. But it was, there's a lot of people, it's the best day of their lives, And it was a big day for me, but let's face it, I've had a belly full of big days. But it was great. It was exciting. And I got up to... I know I never mentioned the hook. I forgot to tell you about the hook. When you hang a picture.
Peter Pan.
Yeah,
The captain was there, of course.
he was getting services to eternal childhood.
He never forgets to tell you about the hook. That's all he goes on about, Pan.
And Hook got the crocodile preservation services too.
That's what people say. Oh, here's Pete with his hook
What do you
stories
think?
again.
Would she shake the hook? The Princess Royal.
Whatever was offered.
I don't know if he'd be allowed in with the hook with the armed men.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strange
there are men
concept to
literally.
consider.
There are men who, when you get to like a posh house and there's a suit of armour in the corner. Well, there was those, but
Yes,
there
I've
was.
seen American rom-coms.
Yeah. Well, there was that, but there was people in them. So there was guys in proper like silver helmets and breastplates just standing intermittently, like you get intermittent chairs in a hotel corridor.
Household cavalry, yeah.
People in the armour.
There was people in there.
Please tell me you checked your hair in the breastplates of one of them.
No, the men. I mean, the men. They all have that stare straight ahead. You can't join into conversation.
They don't walk slow and natural, do they? They
don't move.
Oh, they clank.
But they got swords, these guys.
Shut up.
Some have got guns, some have got swords.
Just to keep you guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just in case you don't walk natural enough. Be careful.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So yes, the hook. When you arrive at the palace, as soon as you walk into the room, there is a table with a nice lady who's got all these little hooks. Are you familiar with the concept of the picture rail? Used to have them in council houses and stuff, and they'd be about 18 inches from the top of the ceiling, and there was these hooks that you put on them, and then so you could hang your pictures on that hook. So it was a separate little thing. So they put one of those on your lapel, and that's your medal hook. Oh. Because Princess Royal hasn't got time to pin them all on, and, there could be blood on the mat.
So hang on, you're wandering around with a hook sticking out.
So everyone who's winning, by then you realise who's friends and who's winners. Because the winners have got their hooks.
The hook of triumph.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? I would have stolen a hook so people thought I was a winner.
Well.
I would have had to, I'm sorry.
Well, if ever you go with anyone, take your own hook.
Yes.
So when you go into the room, I say you're stopped by the Archduke Ambassador of...
the Marquis of Hooks.
Yeah, without portfolio. And he stops you and he has a friendly... The people say things like... One guy, on the way in, there's a very nice guy at the door, military uniform, and he says... He said, I just talking to one of the honorees, or whatever they call them. He said, and they're having a party after this, 500 guests. He said, what are you doing after? And I said, we'll probably watch iCarly. We watch that most nights. And he hadn't heard of iCarly, but...
You shock me.
We didn't do anything. I know, yeah.
You shock me that the Rear Admiral of Hooks said
No, this was a guy who worked at the palace regularly. I thought he'd know iCarly.
Yeah.
It was massive, 15 years ago. Anyway, more of that later. So look, I finally got to... I did my bow from the neck. And...
Is your name called? Does it say Mr. Frank Skinner?
No, it says... for services to entertainment, Mr. Christopher Collins, known as Frank Skinner.
Known as. The artist formerly known as.
You got introduced like an old lag.
Yeah, so I turned...
in a lineup.
Exactly. Alias the Bone Crusher. So she said to me, what's with the two names?
Was that her Oprah?
Yeah, that was her Oprah.
And I've always loved that woman.
And I did think, well, you used to be Princess Anne. And now you're Princess Royal. Did I ask about the two names?
What did you say?
Oh, I explained that when you join the Actors Union, you can't have two people with the same. And she said, oh, there was already another one, was there? I said, yeah, he was a pop singer in Burnley.
What, you were saying this while you got your medal? Talking about a pub singer in Burnley.
And I said they interviewed him. And he said in the Daily Mirror, what do you think about having the same name as Frank Skinner? And he said, I wish I'd got his money. She laughed, obviously something she'd heard said many times. And she asked where I got the name from, and I said it was in my dad's pub domino team. And then she asked about that because she's sport mad.
You did well to bring the sport.
Well, I made one thing I wasn't sure. It was because she said, did you always want to be an entertainer? I said, well, I did want to be a cowboy early on. I said, but unlike yourself, I was never good on a horse.
What did she say?
There was a slight element in her face of too personal.
Yes,
Keep me out of this.
Yes, you're never supposed to rope them into your world.
I realised I'd made a
Or
mistake.
lasso them in.
Lean onto the mat. Who does your hair? You know?
No.
You love your shoes.
I didn't say, do you live in High Barnet?
Frank,
But anyway,
come on.
so anyway, she was great. Look, I really like her. She's pretty cool.
Pierre's lost it over the High Barnet.
But what happened then was she said, well, thank you. And she shakes my hand and I says, thank you. And she says, congratulations. And then I nod and I go to walk away. And she picks up a medal. And I thought, oh, God, I haven't had my medal. So I went back.
You didn't.
And she said, no, you only get one. And I'd noticed she'd already hooked me. And I thought, oh, God, you get medal at
Quick
the end.
like a ninja.
So I'd gone back. What I'd done is I'd approached the mat from the wrong angle.
Oh, no.
I was dicing with death there for a minute.
I've seen the photo. I think there's gurkhas in the background.
There are
You were lucky enough to get a
There are
kukri
gurkhas.
through the neck.
Oh, God, if he'd have run at me, I'd have shouted, I've met Joanna Lumley! I've met Joanna Lumley! But it was too late.
There's a Gurkha absolutely staring down your manager.
Anyway, she was very
in
good
that
about
photo.
it. I mean, you only get one was a pretty good comeback from her.
Yeah.
And I said, sorry, I've never done this before, which was fair enough. But, yeah. So look,
He's brought it in. He's
I
getting
brought it in, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, he's only
Look
got
at
it
it.
out.
Hold it, these are the washing instructions. I'll let you have a look at it in a minute.
yeah.
Oh, do you know the way you brought that out was so, I'm going to call it slow and natural.
What I like about it, on the case, it says MBE.
Yes.
So you don't want to turn up at something wrong, you've brought your sunglasses.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So yeah, I whipped my medal out last thing. And
Can I say it's impressive?
it gets a little card comes with it that explains that if you go out in evening dress, you can buy a miniature version of the medal for casual wear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for any sort of Sylvanian families that you feel like honouring.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, do you know what? If I got one, I'd give one for Raymond. What about one for your dog? That'd be nice.
Well,
Frank.
Action Man must be entitled to services to the fictional military.
Well, there are medals for dogs and for horses and things in war. You do.
They
get,
had no choice.
Or Donald Trump.
That's what it says on the animal
monument.
They had no choice. Well, then why are we celebrating their
Also,
cottage?
don't give us a rather bleak acknowledgement of
Yeah.
what we choose
Don't
to
bring
ignore.
up. They bring up the worst thing to bring up is that they had no choice. I want to imagine an Alsatian thinking, I would go to the cannon's mouth for my sovereign.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want them to think, if he pinches me again, I'll have to run across that barbed wire. That's not what I want to think.
Yeah.
Anyway, the MBE has gone on it. King George V and Queen Anne,
Oh.
right? Queen Mary, isn't it?
Queen
Mary, yeah. And sorry, guys. And I wasn't sure why. I've got some publicity. If anyone ever writes to me for a publicity signed photo, they might be shocked that I've got long hair on it. And what I did in about 2005, my PA said, we're going to get some new photos for you to sign. How many? I said, I'll get about 10,000. And I've used about 100 since then.
That's embarrassing.
So I'm still sending out the younger, hairier. So I reckon they had a lot done
Yeah.
with George V on, and they're still using them up.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think that's what it is?
And it says on it, if I can read the writing, I think it's for God and the Empire.
There you go.
I like the billing. And for me, in my mind, it's the Shepherd's Bush Empire where I've played many times. But I don't think I'm going to get a miniature one for casual wear. If I'm going to wear one, it's going to be the biggie.
The real McCoy.
I don't like the small cat. I don't like. And you know what, Frank? How can I put this? Don't wear it with casual wear.
No.
You know what I hate is an MBE in a jean.
Well, I think
I won't tolerate
Do you
that.
remember that 60s fashion for wearing like medals on blazers and stuff like that? You could. Maybe Remembrance Day, I'll whip it out. It'd be nice to wear it on occasion. Of course, you're not allowed to keep the hook. No,
That's how they get you.
Exactly.
They sell hooks on the way out.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your hooks here.
Golden hooks, silver hooks, or the brass. Yes, I might get it. There's a pin on it.
Is there?
Just saying. Just giving you the inside story. Anyway, that was my day at the Palace. Much fun was had by all. And I'd like to thank the medical team again for looking after the most valuable thing I have way above the medal, and that is my child.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
I appreciate we have been very MBE heavy this morning. I mean, why
Yes,
wouldn't we be?
We'll give it a rest, I think.
Heavy is the head that wears the MBE. Although,
Yeah.
as Ian McNaughton says, should have worn the leather crown. Congrats, well done,
God,
Frank.
yes, I never thought of the leather. I don't know if you'd be allowed in there with the crown.
You can't walk slow and naturally with the leather crown.
There was a no hat thing for the men, I think, unless it was a military cap.
Military cat? What?
Yeah.
It's like Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
But I'd say that the police who check your car, go through your car boot and that on the way into the Palace, they got like baseball caps with the check around the side. They look cool, those hats.
Oh, what's your favourite police uniform? Do you like that one? You like the casual?
Well, I like 50s Bobby. I do like those with the armband and stuff.
Do you know what mine is?
It was them, wasn't it? They had the armband. What's yours?
Yours is going to be a little more complicated, I can imagine. We'll come back to
that'll
you.
be one we've never heard of.
Oh, it'll be something, yeah. I tell you what I like, Frank. Plain clothes. Bear with
Do
me.
you?
I saw this once. I was in the Blackfriars area. I saw a car. It stopped, and a gentleman got a light out and put it on the top
Oh, I've
of the
seen
car.
that happen, yeah, when
That's
they put it on the
great, yeah.
top.
And do you know, he was a plainclothes officer. Oh my God. It turned out that's something I have a strange energy for.
Okay.
Did he have did his aspect change once you knew he was the police officer?
What do you think?
What I like the idea is if he'd have been out and if he was walking, if he'd parked his car and decided to walk that day, does he have a blue light in the with a chin strap in the bag that he can just bring out and then chase people?
Or at the very least on his lapel.
Do they have the whistles anymore? The 60s Bobby, 50s, 60s Bobby I'm on about. The whistle was an absolute crucial
He's a kid.
element of the kit, yeah.
No, they don't use whistles anymore.
I like the Victorian, the ones that sort of have a cape.
Oh, God,
Well, I was
The
gonna
Jack the
say,
Ripper ones.
In the same
great
way,
job they did.
they don't have whistles, Frank. In the same way, they don't have penny farthing.
No, but the whistle went into the 60s at least. If there's any police listening, it could be. I'm
Call
still
me.
being followed after the Palace just to make absolutely
Yeah.
sure I'm still walking naturally.
He said, that one tried to get a second medal.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep an eye on.
I did tell him.
And he only had one hook. What was he thinking?
Can I be honest? When you went back to get the second, did you feel a momentary shame, or was it? You're quite good at bouncing back, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm all right at making a fool of myself. It was all right. She thought it was funny, brightened her day a bit.
Yeah.
Then that's when she thought, I see why we're giving you this.
Yeah, exactly. Nearly fell off the mat. But not quite.
Gonna post a quote from Princess Anne.
Exactly.
Nearly fell off my special mat, Princess Anne.
Laugh. I nearly crossed the mat.
Oh, God, if he crossed the goal. What we call crossing the goal, like crossing the Rubicon.
Oh, yeah.
You can't cross the goal.
Anyway, we said we
You
weren't
can't
gonna-
handle the goal.
We said we'd stop talking
Oh,
about it.
I'll tell you what we were going to do. Pierre's favourite policeman, because I bet he's seen a few.
Well,
Favourite
but
type?
let's make that one of our great cliffhangers. We'll be back with Pierre Novelli's favourite police uniform after this break.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Anyway, very fine.
You left us on a cliffhanger, Frank. Do you recall?
Yes, Pierre Novelli's favourite police uniform coming up. What did we have? Mine's 60s British Bobby.
Mine's sort of 80s plain clothes.
Okay.
It's a contest between, like I said, the caped Victorian ones and the Isle of Man police get to wear those traditional tall sort of British Bobby helmets, but they're white.
Oh,
Shut
wow.
up.
And they're gloss white. They look great.
Are you kidding?
I think they're the only people in the sort of Commonwealth. who
It's
get
a
to
bit
do that.
Days of the Raj, isn't it, that?
Oh, the big
White.
helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's high tiffin in 45
Douglas.
degrees with the top button still fastened.
Yeah.
Wow.
They look really good, yeah. They're quite striking. I thought they were normal growing up, and looking back, I can see how odd they must be.
Those, when you're like in Italy and stuff and you see those, they look
They look like
really-
admirals. Where's an admiral directing traffic?
They look cool, though. Yeah.
Oh, breathtaking.
Anyway, enough of that. Now,
Enough about the police.
you might not remember this, Pierre, but remember last week I was talking about I completely shampooed myself because I
Yes.
had no soap or shower gel and lived. I completely
lived.
That'd be a great headline in a populist newspaper. I completely shampooed myself and lived. And you said to me, "Oh, I've got a shower story," and then it kind of got lost in the fogs of war.
Yes.
Well, I'm laying it on you now.
Well, I don't just have a shower story, Frank. I have a shower mystery. See if you guys can guess the answer, ITV drama style.
Was there just a
shower
pool of
mysteries.
water in the middle of the room? And do you remember those mysteries?
Yes, so they said, and the room is locked. They always have to specify
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
You go,
It's
okay,
complete.
well,
There's a man at each door, and you can only ask him one question. All right.
Yeah. It turned out the surgeon was a woman.
What was it called?
Yeah.
Lateral thinking, I think they were called.
Go on
so
then.
it's I suppose I'm passing it on. My sister, who lives with her husband and two kids, was sort of
Some people still do.
yeah. She's a traditionalist. She was brushing her teeth at night, and where you sort of you're in your own home, but an aberration in the corner of your eye catches your attention.
Yes.
A fly or something, and she's just sort of nighttime in the bathroom. Kids are in bed, brushing her teeth, and she goes, "Well, what's that?" Looks over at the shower, and in the tray of the shower is a load of hair, clumps of hair, sort of almost like animal looking, in a sort of scattered pattern, dry. And she goes, "What the?" And there's a moment where you think, "Is that a what?" And she sort of is obviously horrified.
Well, when I left the Princess Royal, I followed a trail of wet feathers to the door.
Here we go.
I think it was the swan and waterbirds.
Oh, God.
Like,
From the corners of his mouth. He'd
Can I
finally
say-
been allowed to eat one. After all this work.
that's why he was there, royal privilege.
Yes, we're going
Anyway,
to give you a taste.
I think it was a lady, actually, sexist.
He's going to be, every anecdote is going to be, well, when I left the Princess Royal.
I'll stop it. Come on, there's a pile of hair in the shower.
Yes. And so panic ensues, and she tells her husband, come look at this mysterious hair.
Yeah.
And there's no explanation for it. It's just there, and it's sort of it's obviously their first thought is, oh, it's one of our sons,
Yeah, how old are the kids, if I may?
4 and 2.
A bit younger.
Yeah. And crucially,
Shearing.
the hair
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
the hair is far too dark. So it's very much the sort of thing that happens in a film about a killer.
Okay, let's leave that again. Second Novelli hangover of the hour. Hangover? Cliffhanger. Sorry, I had a flashback.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
What's this hairy shower mystery?
Well-
I wish I'd got a dun 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 dun. Will this work? Everybody. No, that doesn't
Is
really
the
work.
answer to the mystery just that Pierre had been in it?
Yes, Pierre, and he just malted.
I had stepped in and sneezed.
Was it during your malting season?
No, it was just before.
Okay.
Just before the
just
first
can't-
day of spring.
He just come out of hibernation.
Oh, imagine that. Day takes his shirt off and it's fur-lined.
So,
Come on, then.
So,
where are we? So
My sister
she's
and,
found the
and
hair.
her husband.
In case you've just tuned in,
Yeah.
My
Pierre's sister is cleaning her teeth in the evening. In the corner of her eye, she notices is a pile of alien-looking black hair
I don't
in
know
the
pile,
shower.
Yeah.
dark hair.
Okay, Doc.
But because
What about for the people listening in monochrome?
that's
Well,
true.
I'm imagining it like you used to have. There was the concept of the stick-on hairy chest when
Yes.
such things were desirable,
Yeah.
and I'm imagining it like that.
A little bit more scattered. There's a chaotic aspect to it.
Okay.
Panic ensues. Obviously, my sister and her husband, compare the hair to their own hair, just in case.
Yeah.
No, it's not a match.
No.
They start texting pictures of it to my parents, saying, "There's mystery hair," and my parents obviously think we've seen these crime thrillers.
Oh God.
The killer's in the house or something. This is some mad signal, and so just obviously they think, okay, we have two sons. You know, they're very young. They're under 6.
And this
4
is the age of TikTok.
Yes, perhaps as a stunt.
Yeah,
So-
you might shave a Neanderthal
Yes.
for a 40-second.
Thrill.
Yeah.
Might
They
be a
check-
centaur.
Yeah, yes.
Can I offer a little sidebar
Sure.
on this? I once stayed in a. Should I name? I won't name the proprietor, but a B&B in Southend-on-Sea. I was doing Cliff's Pavilion. They had a club underneath called the Joker Club, and I was doing that. I was with a young woman. And we stayed at this B&B, and the shower curtain, the inside of the shower curtain, had hair of all nations on it. There was blonde hair, there was hair from downstairs, there was short hair, grey hair. It was all, and it had gathered over a long period, I think, like the way people might keep, photographs of
Yeah.
celebrities. All this hair was still on the inside of the shower curtain. So it lingers.
I suppose it got to a point where the cleaners sort of thought, out of respect, I
Cleaners?
have to leave it.
This was a woman, we checked in, me and this woman. We spoke to her and said, we'll have breakfast. What time do you want breakfast and all that? And then we went upstairs. And we were lying on the bed, not just sort of kissing, and the door burst open. The door burst open, and there was the landlady with a couple showing them the room. And she said to me, "Who are you?" And I'd honestly been speaking to her like less than 10 minutes before. And I said, well, who are you? What are you doing here? I said, "You've just checked us in." It's very scary.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
Well-
we'll come back. We got another Pierre.
That's not the first time someone's ever said that to me in a bedroom.
Sorry.
Frank Skinner,
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
So we're in the shower with Pierre. No,
Yes.
with Pierre's sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no one's in the shower except the.
Mystery hair.
Well, forgive me
mystery
for
hair.
crossing over the golden line on the mat, on the shower
on the
mat.
shower mat.
So that's Matt. Okay.
So, they obviously think, well, we've got 2 young sons.
Yeah.
There's a potential for shenanigans here.
Could it have been animal hair?
Well, they did think, well, cats got in. A cat and a fox. A fight.
Well, a cat's gone in and given itself a little wax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little shower cubicle fight. Like a kind of, that's the arena between the cat and
Yeah,
the fox.
like cage fighting. You
Yeah.
shut the shower door and leave them at
I'll
it.
see you in the shower. Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember that episode of Tom and Jerry where he has a shave.
Yes. So they think we need to check this. The hair of the children is checked 3 times. No hair missing.
Okay.
So they think, well, then it's a murderer. Because the hair seems human. They don't want to touch it. It's very unclear. So they think, right, we need to... They're starting to get a
Quite
bit
a
freaked
leap
out.
they've made.
This is the they're already in the house moment, isn't it? They're still in the house when you
Yeah.
start checking wardrobes and onto bed.
Well, this is the next phase, is my brother-in-law sort of going around the house and making sure everything's locked with a sort of hammer, that he's
Yeah.
found from the
Yeah.
toolbox. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually it gets to the point where they think,
I bet he wasn't walking in a relaxed natural. Why?
no, put it this way, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere near the mat.
No.
No aspect of his posture.
Oh, man.
He wasn't mat worthy.
No, he wasn't. No.
Is he?
No.
Can we just a brief question, Frank? I'll handle this. Can he take care of himself, your brother-in-law?
Oh, yes.
I thought as much, Frank.
Okay.
Didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So he's ready to...
Is he from South Africa?
No, he's from Cheshire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could have been a cat.
Yeah, yes. Hang on. He's always smiling. So he creeps
And
around.
who played the Cheshire Cat in the Mickey Mouse version of Alice in Wonderland?
Who was it?
Pete.
It wasn't.
It was.
Oh, come on,
Pete.
not Pete.
Pete got a rare
Our
dramatic
old
role.
friend Pete.
It's like
Oh,
when
that's
Benny
Pete.
Hill plays Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, Pete never stopped going on about that. It's King
No.
Lear moment.
Exactly.
Listen here, goof. I'm an actor. So everything's checked, everything's locked. The police are considered but not called, because on what grounds?
Yeah.
And it's decided that this will be sort of slept on and addressed in the morning, because there's still the lingering suspicion of the children.
Yes.
But it's late now.
Are they mischievous?
They're pretty mischievous.
Okay.
They're pretty clever. And in the morning, in the light of day, the elder of the two is brought into the bathroom and sort of confronted with this hair, and his hair sort of swept aside. They sort of go, "Do you know anything about this?" And my nephew said, "Yes." I said, "Well, what is it?" He went, "Well, they're my shavings." And he had managed to knock a leg razor from a safe position where it was kept, I have to emphasize,
Yes.
somehow, so that he could sneak from his bed into the loo and go, "Well, obviously I'll shave a bit of my head." And he'd grabbed his own hair and shaved an enormous chunk out of it, which had just happened to have been covered by the way it was when he was asleep.
Oh, so he had a big gap.
And I'll show you a photo in the next break, but he's got this enormous sort of rectangular gap on his head.
So he's
and
got shaving.
he saw nothing wrong with what he'd done. He goes, "Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night, went and did some shaving, and went back to bed."
I think, isn't this a scene Travis Bickle says this in Taxi Driver?
Did he say, "Are you looking at me"?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
So, have we heard from Alfresco Mond?
We've heard so many. We've had, I have to say, a lot of it is very MBE related. They
Okay.
cannot get enough.
We're wading through congratulations.
Oh,
We
well, that's
really
nice.
are, yeah.
Congratulations.
I like Treble 4 to Frank Skinner. Many congratulations on your MBE. Re Princess Royal. I love an email that starts that way.
Any kind of re is good.
I believe Queen Victoria created the title for her eldest daughter. And the late Queen Elizabeth conferred it on Princess Anne. I vaguely remember this happening. Maybe when she was 21. That's from Julia. I love the
Nice.
maybe.
Yes, well,
Maybe.
I think my first time I heard the word investiture was when Prince Charles became Prince Charles at Carnarvon Castle.
Frank,
Yes.
that's exactly what I've always connected it with. What's your investiture connection, Pierre Novelli?
When I hear the word investiture, what do you think?
What do I think when you hear it?
When you hear
No,
it.
there's a song that well, actually, it's not a song. It's a recitation by John Wayne, and he said, "When I hear the word republic, I feel the way a man feels when he watches his son shave for the first time."
He was such a new
Not
man.
something your brother-in-law would have said, probably. But
No. What?
don't worry, forget the investiture question. Yes, what else?
On a side note, Donna Milne gets in touch on Twitter and says, "I was in the police in the 80s and had a whistle."
Whoa, right, we got it as far as the 80s, that whistle.
Call me.
Yeah. How do you? Because I suppose the reason that all the other kit has changed is technology. But if you need a whistle, you need a whistle. There's no more technologically advanced version.
Well, I suppose you get those. They've always, when you talk to police, they've often got those things going on.
But if you want to alert the people around you, I mean, stop that man kind of thing.
Yeah,
There's nothing above a whistle, is there?
nothing better than a whistle.
Referees still use them.
Was your investiture on Thursday?
It was.
Well, someone's got in touch to say, morning, Frank. Good to meet you on Thursday. That mat was bigger than 3 by 2 foot.
Oh, what's this? Services to mathematics?
Well, what about this from the Princess Royal?
Well,
Good to meet you on Thursday.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
somebody called Max?
I was.
Did you meet anyone called Max on Thursday at the palace?
Possibly. I met a lot of people.
Did you?
But I thought that was my sort of rough estimate of the mat. Well, I think we
Okay.
posted a picture, haven't we, of the Princess Royal in situ
We have.
on mat.
Lovely black tights she's got.
Oh, yeah.
And Lucy Elwell
Yeah.
says, congratulations, Frank. Looking dapper.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd better dress up a bit.
How did you feel in the suit? In the morning, you went for the full morning, obviously.
I did. I went for that. Most people just went. Like Stephen Graham was there, the actor, and he just went for a smart suit and looked great.
Oh,
and of
really?
course, I went for the fancy dress.
You've
the,
got
the
to, though.
tails
Oh,
and
you've
all that.
got to go, Alfred Doolittle.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
way forward. I would have done that.
The Lord above gave man an arm of iron. What if I'd got it like that? Yeah, but it would have been the Lord of... Cut to slow motion of me just... my arms flailing, Sam Peckinpah. There's probably... the Princess Royal probably has a small umbrella to shield herself from splatterings if anyone shot
Yes.
on their way to the mat.
It's got a sort of golden edge around it, yeah. Pearl handle.
Oh, man.
And Andrea Waterhouse, you scrub up well, Frank.
Nice.
Well done on your MBE. Very much deserved. You scrub up well.
Not bad for my age.
Yeah.
That's what I always think.
Still, what about when I ran into that man I hadn't seen for years? And I was, to be fair, I was about 32. And he said, oh, nice to see you. See you've kept your figure. I was a 90-year-old pensioner.
God. Did you show him what he was missing? What he was missing was tact.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Regarding police uniforms, Martin says, hi, I was a police officer in Bristol in the mid-80s. 80s
Hi,
again.
Martin.
Yeah.
And if you worked in the centre of the city, you were issued a cape with lion's head fastenings across the top.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I wore it a few times on nights when it was cold/frosty, and it was the warmest bit of kit I ever had. Now retired, but still got it. I assume he means the cape rather than joie de vivre.
Yeah.
Oh,
Martin.
no, I hope he means joie de vivre. I like the concept of him being on nights. I told you that story, didn't I? When my father was presenting a late-night art show with Joan Bakewell.
Late night lineup.
I came home one night and my Welsh great-grandfather, who was a miner, said, you still on nights, Mike?
Well, the warmest
man.
cape I ever wore was when I went out in the...
Do text in.
I went out in that shower curtain from Southend B&B. Sort of ermine trimmed with human hair.
Crowd-funded trim.
Exactly.
What's the warmest cape you've ever worn?
That'd be a good one, wouldn't it? I think Batman will write in.
Oh, his is thin, gossamer
I
thin.
have my night. You're right, Batman. No, I went to a match last night. My throat's still hurting.
Do you know what worries me? Batman's cape has the feel that it might have just come out of the Amazon packaging. You could see the four folded.
Yeah.
There is a lot of folds in
There's
it.
a lot of folds, and I don't trust a man with folds in his garment, if you know what I mean.
No.
It looks a bit thin.
Well, it's
Yeah.
all bought for the shadow, not for the warmth. It's when you outstretch it, you want to look like a bat. There's no point.
Can I be frank? Is it umbrella fabric? This is what's always concerned me.
Yeah.
I don't think it has the struts, if that's what you're suggesting.
Yes, it would be terrible to watch Batman start to glide off a building and then be inverted by a strong wind.
And then, or jump
Plummet.
off and have one of those you know when you get an exposed strut on an umbrella.
Jabbing a crook.
Yeah.
Hey!
Do you think there's nothing? I know that I appreciate. I'm going out on a limb here. I do think the exposed umbrella, the faulty umbrella, it's impossible to remain dignified.
No, if you've got
Would you
an
agree?
exposed
I throw it in the bin
strut,
instantly.
yeah. Well, I should. I often try to re-hook. You know, because they got like small
That's what
hoods.
you did at the palace.
I did. They've got like small hoods on the points of the fabric, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can get them back over the strut.
Is it, Frank? Do all of the
Next week's life hacks.
Frank, do all superheroes wear capes?
No,
What about Spider-Man?
Spider-Man never wears a cape.
Oh, nice red one.
No,
He's
he
missing
sometimes
an
has-
opportunity.
Sometimes you see Spider-Man. There's one version of the uniform, and he's got a bit of webbing under the armpits, a sort of a
What?
Yeah, like
slightly web.
It's a flight suit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would
whatever they
would
call
you
those.
be offended? Because I know you like him. He's got the worst costume, hasn't he?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Take that back.
It's so unflattering.
What? He's in the shape of his life, Spider-Man.
Yeah, he looks great.
I'm not knocking his physique. I'm just saying it's not an attractive garment.
I think Superman has the worst.
Do
Really?
you?
Sort of primary colours, and his pants are on the outside, and the cape
They've
is
all got
unnecessary.
pants on the outside.
Yeah, but now you're on about traditional Superman. Now, of course, they've all gone
Yeah.
armoured.
Spider-Man's
It's
got
like
red
being at
boots.
the palace.
They've all got the sort of neoprene. They look like sort of modern rugby union tops.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's got red boots. You can't. What are you, the Pope? Get them off.
No, they're all
Red
wearing like a
boots.
technological machine now. These guys. It used to be like more linen.
It was
What
like
about the Hulk?
wool.
He was happy with the denim cut-off.
Well, the Hulk
Daisy Dukes.
has to take what's left, I'm afraid. The Hulk. What do you wear, Hulk? I wear what remains.
to thank our lucky stars that's what remains.
Exactly. Yeah, oh, yeah, that could be terrible. I don't even want to think about the Hulk if the whole lot went. Luckily, he's got that elasticated belt.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had this in from Shorty. They just keep on coming, Frank. These are MBE-related
Well, a
correspondence.
country boy named Shorty and a city boy named Dan. Do you know that song?
No.
Okay.
Those aren't my people. Shorty says, well done. Another great example of black country talent.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I'll
another
take
great
that.
example?
Ozzy Osbourne.
Julie Walters.
Lisa Stansfield.
Well, he's not. He's Birmingham rather
What
than-
about
that's
Lisa
true.
Stansfield?
No, she's Lancashire, isn't she?
Oh, okay. What?
She came with her own hook.
The producer's
If she turned up, you'd just hang it on the forelock, wouldn't you?
Same goes for Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
Is that a kiss curl she had, Frank? Or
I
is
think
something else?
that is a kiss curl.
What's the most famous kiss curl?
Bill Haley, I would say, of Bill Haley and the Comets.
He was quick with that, Bill Haley.
Yeah, I think he's the great pioneer of the kiss curl.
Is he? Does he sit in the chair?
It was great. He had like the first big rock and roll hit, and then he toured Britain, and all these teenage girls were excited, and then he's like some fat bloke with a kiss curl.
And they went on.
Elvis cleaned up the kiss curl.
Elvis came in at the last, like the cavalry. I met a man from the cavalry who was getting an award, and he said, "Oh, well done." I said, "Well done you." I spotted the hook.
Yes.
And he said, I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm in the cavalry." He said, "But, I'm very admiring of what you do." I said, "Yeah, and I don't need a horse." That's what the talk was like at the palace.
Sort of dressing room banter.
Yeah, exactly. The green room. Actually, it was gold.
A lot of gold.
Like the room next door and
Yeah.
the room next door to that.
Ruth Jordan. Surely all superheroes are just dressing like that to show their exes what they're missing.
I think that is true.
Regarding the mat and various gold-fringed boundaries,
Yeah. It wasn't.
Dave-
I never said it was fringed. It was board. It was
Ed.
It was
bordered.
a gold border.
David Ivor Price, re-boundaries. An ex-boss used to have a taped boundary on his part of a shared desk. And during my short time at the company, I managed to claw back at least a foot of desk by peeling and reapplying his taped border.
Oh wow!
A friend who still works there informs me he has no idea.
I think what the Princess Royal should have done is that people who she was like confident with, she should have let get a bit closer, and the ones that look slightly dodgy a bit further away. She could have had like a grocery separator.
Oh,
Yes.
You get when you checking your
Or
grocery.
maybe an enormous circular mat with sort of circles radiating out, and you
Oh yeah, like the 7 circles of hell.
No, not like that. Frank.
No, not really like that.
So
Maybe
that
not like
if
that.
she thinks if she gets on with you and you're on the outer circle, a little beckon.
Yeah,
You
she'll
go,
go trebles.
Yeah.
And you can step in.
You would have gotten closer and closer and closer until you brought up her horse riding and then back one.
Yeah, they could say on their way in 4, and then
Yes,
you go
yeah.
to that one.
And Princess Anne, as a big sports fan, if the hook was far away enough, you've got an element of sort of lawn darts, or
Hoopla.
hoopla, yeah.
Yeah,
Trying to get it on the hook from a distance.
I don't want anyone experiencing diameter envy on my account because I got in a bit closer.
I think you're safe there.
Yeah, I think that'll be all right. I think the system works. Stick with the mat.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
So someone's responded to, it is yet more MBE stuff, deal with it. Someone's responded to the photograph of you with the PR and the mat.
Yeah.
So, oh, that was my stomach.
Was it? Oh, well done.
Saying, it's a photograph of you and Prince Anne, but in the distance there are other characters. And someone has said 2 adorable national treasures. Isn't that nice? I mean, I'm assuming they mean you and not your partner and your manager.
No, maybe
Who was
not.
standing immediately behind. In their way, both national treasures, and also 2 beefeaters.
Yes.
What did you make of the beefeater?
Well, there was an option that when you were given what you could
Do you
wear.
want the beef or the chicken?
that you could wear the beef. There was no refreshments, dear. I mean, 3.5 hours. We'll
Really?
leave that. But
Lunchtime dinner.
it said that you could wear the. What are they? Yeomen of the Guards? Is that what they are?
Pierre no.
These guys will be beef eaters.
So they're actually called beef eaters.
I think so.
Okay. So he said that was an option, and I thought, does that mean I could turn up in a beef eater outfit? But I think you have to. It has to be legitimate.
Well, you can't like Mr. Ben or something.
What if I had
To the
showed
shop.
up? If I showed up in the full BE, the BE.
It has to be earned, doesn't it?
No, I think you have to earn that as well.
They have a. You know what? They love a red tight.
Oh God,
It's
yes,
quite.
it really is. And
It's quite career in publishing.
I wonder
The
how
red
long,
tie,
how,
they
how
do that.
long that uniform has been like that. Pierre,
These are yeomen of the guard.
they are yeomen of the
Yeah,
guard.
the
What-
beefeaters of the Tower of London.
You shot me down when I said yeomen
I
of the
was so
guard.
confident.
And they have a gold sash. Am I right? They have a sort of
I didn't check out
like the
their
sort of King of
sash.
Moldavia a sash across. I think there is a sash, isn't there?
I think I was just salivating my eyebrows in a breastplate when they went past.
Can I tell you what I find about the beefeater costume? It's very forgiving on the neck.
Yes.
Oh yeah, if you
Yeah.
It props one's neck. I mean, it gives one a great jawline. I might consider the beefeater
yeah, I
look.
could do with a better jawline now.
Oh, you don't. You don't need one.
I noticed a home video in which my throat was slightly affected by the wind.
Is it?
Yeah,
Batman shape.
just moving a little to the left.
Oh, I don't like that.
No.
Things get very mobile.
And remember, a turkey neck isn't just for Christmas. It's for
More's the
life.
pity.
Dev suggests that perhaps the mat is the Princess Royal's curry rug, so no takeaway damages the carpet when she's watching the footy.
Oh,
Possibly.
Oh, is there such a thing? I like that.
That's a
I've
good
never heard
idea.
of a curry rug before.
I know.
I
You
went
used to
to
give
my-
it to the dogs.
I went to my sister-in-law's new house, and she put a lot of, you know, when you have a lot of cardboard boxes when you move into a house.
Oh, yeah.
She put the flattened ones beneath us on our KFC night.
Did she?
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't taking any risks with the Colonel's dribblings.
that could be one of the duties of the Yeoman of the Guard.
That's what Elvis said as well. He didn't take risk with the Colonel's dribblings.
Yeah, we did. Did I tell you about our KFC night?
No.
It was I went round because they've recently moved, so we went round. We're going to do it once a month. Me and my brother-in-law and our two boys, and we got a.
You're going to do what? Sorry, once a month. Get to eat KFC.
We ate KFC and watched over 40 KFC adverts on YouTube. We saw 9 different actors playing the Colonel, and one vintage shot of the Colonel, the actual Colonel, walking through a park giving children chicken.
Why did you watch the videos?
Well, it just seemed
Appropriate.
So when you're eating things,
It was an organic evening.
do you always theme your media around whatever dish you're eating?
Not normally, but it did work well. We found ourselves. The trouble is, you'd get like one campaign, and then
Going on?
there's one campaign, and you'd get like 8 examples of adverts on that campaign. Like people saying, finishing a KFC and saying, "Oh my God, I ate the bones," and then another advert of someone saying, "Hey, did you eat the bones?" And it was like they'd brought out a fillet. And people were looking for the bones, and of course there never was bones.
Oh, I can't stress enough how much I thought going in that this was initially a joke, that you watched a load of KFC.
No.
KFC.
No, we
I
watched-
believe you now.
We watched over 40, and then my son
What
said.
about when he watches those Dolmio ads?
My son had to then, he said, then we're going to, let's make our own KFC. And he had us playing parts. I was the Colonel with white blue tack on my chin, saying stuff like, "Hi, I'm the Colonel." Yeah, all that stuff. It was a hell of an evening.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
So I'm interested in your KFC evening.
Oh, yes.
Pierre just dropped a piece of paper.
In shock.
Yeah.
Your KFC evening. So you're going to do this monthly, are you?
That's the plan, yeah. It was brilliant.
When you say you're going to do it monthly, eat KFC and watch the video?
Yeah, we got 2 litres of Tango as well
Yeah.
to swill it down.
It takes
Give
2
my
litres of
give-
Tango.
It does.
Do give my love to the 80s next time.
I will. But I have featured in the advert, I had to come on and say, "Hi, I'm the Colonel," and
Did you have the black tart ribbon?
no, I wasn't. He sprung it on us. This, and I have to say, I try our new family feast 10-piece bucket, and then I say, "Oh no, I ate it on the way," and that's the opening joke, all given to me by my
script.
son. Of course, we were furious because we'd only got 9 pieces in our 10-piece bucket. We were going to go back to KFC because no one counts.
No, it's
You've never seen anyone take that little cardboard cover off and say 1, 2, 3, you trust them.
yeah.
And then I think 2 days later, my nephew, who's now 7, owned up to the fact that he'd had 1 more piece of chicken that he's allotted.
Wow. That's going to come back. You'll remember that story.
What if
one
we'd
day.
gone down there and thumped the counter furiously and then let us...
Besmirched the Colonel's honour, but only for a few days.
So Buzz also included my nephew throwing a KFC bag into the air in slow motion and then it coming down.
Oh, gosh.
And then a close-up of Tango being poured into a glass. It was quite arty.
Yeah, gosh. It's got a good sensibility.
Extraordinary content being produced.
Now, how tightly do these themes have to sort of cohere? Because could you, for example, have an evening of eating ice cream and watching The Thing?
Well,
It's cold, it's set in the eye.
well,
Is it
my
cold,
brother,
the
sorry, my son has just sent me has just texted me with a it's gravy, baby, KFC advert.
about the recent campaign? It's gravy,
no,
baby.
it looks vintage.
Oh,
to
does
me.
it?
Have you tried the gravy?
No. I haven't had KFC for probably about 18 years.
Well, KFC is, for me, the queen of the fast foods, or at least the Princess Royal.
Do you know I'm inclined to agree with you? There's something about the chip combo really works.
Wow, the batter.
Whereas I received the last time I ordered a McDonald's with family, and I received the burger, there was a bun, there was a slice of processed cheese, there was no burger.
Oh.
Mike, was it vegan?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's awful.
Just the cheese.
That's obviously an error, though.
Was it?
Yeah, come on.
Or was it vengeance? There was something odd about it.
What would Ronald think? If
Was
he
it your
with us?
ex working behind the...
Showing me what I'm missing.
Exactly, that's what you're missing. Meat.
Play a song.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, I'd like to share something with you, which was sent in by one of our listeners last week, or readers, I should say. I do apologise. It's what we sometimes warmly refer to as the previously section on this show. David Clements has been in touch,
Yes.
and he calls his missive Cream Egg Melt.
Oh, yes, because we talked about the fact that Subway on Good Friday were doing a cream egg melt.
Now, what I like about David Clements is a lot, because he starts with "Hello, Frank and Co." A little bit Dunkin' Donuts. There's apostrophes and punctuation all over the place.
A bit Southern Fried Chicken.
Dixie Fried is also available.
Yeah.
Hello, Frank and Co. Your discussion of the cream egg melt brought to mind that when at my friend's house as a child, he once offered me a Smartie Bap. He proceeded to cut open a floury bread roll, fill it with Smarties, and put it in the microwave. Apparently, it was a very popular snack in his household.
My auntie Doreen used to give us Smarties in custard.
Really?
And she would, when I say in, they were more on. They would sit on the skin of the custard. And if you pushed them, I remember, with a spoon, they'd leave a lovely sort of vapour trail, coloured vapour trail.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've also had...
Perhaps there's more a scope for that chocolate being melted into food.
Smarties being put into a BAP and microwaved feels like a very round the houses sort of Nutella substitute.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But you don't get the crunchy outer casing, of course, with
No,
Nutella.
that's true.
Let's never forget that.
No, you'd have to put
Eggs.
lettuce in.
I suppose eggs pioneered that idea.
The crunchy outer casing. Full credit to eggs.
Now, do you remember last week we
Just about.
also raised the subject of David Baddiel's wall?
Oh, yes. David Baddiel contributes to the local community by leaving stuff on his wall.
He does.
His front wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On his front wall. The one on adjacent to the pavement. And he'll put out a book or, as I've said, a religious item.
One man's contribution is another man's fly tipping. You be the judge.
Well,
No, can I say, what I love about David Baddiel is he really makes the effort to display the items. I've seen that wall. I pass it frequently. They're beautifully arranged. Okay?
I don't know if he does the arrangement. I think he might
be more winner.
He might have a person.
He doesn't put a wall arranger.
A wall
I think
designer.
he
David,
told me.
if
I
you're
think actually,
listening.
he comes. I think it's a retired window dresser from River Island. He gets in.
What are they called? Display merchandiser. Hello, you're going to have to speak to my wall arranger. David, if you have a wall arranger, please let us know. Christian Dawson has got in touch. In an act of very localised fly tipping or wall arranging, my neighbour left a white leather armchair.
Wow.
I'm in already.
Yeah.
And 4 leather-backed dining chairs in front of the house. There was a handwritten note sellotaped to one of the upturned chairs. The note was ravaged by weather, but it listed the items on display and finished, "We'll swap for Rabbit Hutch."
Wow.
Now, this seems an ambitious want. The chairs have been there 3 weeks. I will perhaps send a picture, but there's a 4x4 parked in front currently with the boot lid lifted and the hazard lights flashing. I don't recognise this car. I'm hoping when it's gone, the furniture has too, and there'll be a rabbit hutch on the pavement.
Is there
I'll
any-
keep you posted.
Does it look like the sort of boot that would hold a Hasenhüttel? Which I believe is German for rabbit hutch.
Christian, please keep us posted. I need to know what's
No,
his
I-
hutch.
He's updated it at the end.
Oh, go
got it.
on, Pierre.
Update. 2 armchairs and a soggy note remain. No hutch. What
I
a
hate
swizz.
that. That's one thing I don't.
What a swizz these
I don't
so-called
like it when
ransom
people don't
notes
take
are.
the full set from
Yeah.
outside a house.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just took the first 2 books of the trilogy and left the
Yes.
third. Oh no!
What kind of sitcom scenario do you think it was where someone went, well, I do need a full dining set and armchair, but I've got all these rabbit hutches.
Anyway, look, the next episode of the Poetry Podcast is out on Wednesday. This week, Sinead Morrissey, fabulous Beatles-themed poetry in this week's thing. One just final thank you, Sophie Hartley, who is the Chief Nursing Officer, Medical Household, Lord Chamberlain's Office, actually emailed Kath and I the day after my investiture to see if Buzz was feeling better. I mean, they do it so well. The politeness. Brilliant. So that was mucho appreciatum, as I believe they said in ancient Rome. So look, it's been lovely. Thanks for listening. You're looking at me like I've forgotten something. Have I forgotten something?
No, I'm just getting anxious because it's a bit, about the football. But anyway, as you were.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
You mean the Sunderland game tomorrow? Anyway, if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.